Hi, good morning everyone. Back up here at the ranch. So I'm standing up here on the top of on the side of this mountain. Up here you can see the industrial park over there, Gateway. You can see my old yard down there, my buildings that I owned at one time. They just paid that off this year, last month actually. Here's my tanks. So we got a couple of different problems here. We have a leak down there. This line goes down. There's a valve right there where Sophia is. Clipped it off with my backhoe. I have another valve box down there. I'm gonna have Mike fix that here in the next few days. Dig it up, and then we're gonna dig where the T is down there. We're gonna put a valve, and then we're gonna put some more isolation valves in there. I'm sure it's leaking off the 2-inch. The 3/4 inch, I do not believe it's leaking. It's on right now to top off this tank, and I'm going to let it get full to make sure that my float's working up there and it's not overfilling, because we do have a leak somewhere and we have to go through the process of elimination. So we're going to start that process, but what I want to talk about is this valley right here and these mountains, how at one time that Sacramento Valley was a landlocked sea, and it went all the way down to San Joaquin Valley and all the way up probably to Tehachapi there. So this was at one time was an inland sea, and it finally crested down there, probably Carquinez Straits or somewhere's down there where the Sacramento River flows into the Bay Area. And there's probably no doubt if you really got into some LiDAR or something like that in the Bay, you'd see a great, what they call a fan. I can't think of the name of it right now. Anyways, you'd probably find one of those alluvial fans that washes down off the mountains, and they're very prevalent. You can identify them very simply. And so through the trees over there we can see oh my gosh, my mind just shuts down. Bear Mountain over there, and it's kind of a tabletop mountain, it looks like to me from here. I've never been up there. I would love to go up there someday and trek around there and get some samples of the rocks. But so there's Bear Mountain off in the distance there, and you can see how it's got kind of that flat top. Well, I don't know, but what it is, I need to do some research and find out. I might be able to go online and find out what the rock makeup is, but chances are it's a volcanic plug. And then if you look at that mountain right through between them trees there, you see how that mountain is, looks like a pyramid. Well, that's an indication that that mountain right there, and that right there is I forget the name of that mountain up there. We used to go up there all the time. There's a radio tower up there and some other equipment that utility people use. It's shaped like a volcanic mountain, and it's shaped like a pyramid. And that's how you can tell in the western, out here in the northwestern California, to be able to identify what a lot of these peaks are. And a lot of them are volcanic, very, very old volcanic, probably, 6 to 10,000 years. I'm a young earth believer. I believe what the Bible says. Anyways, so this is all accretion terrain, or terrain accretions that has scraped off of the Pacific plate. In our region, it would be the Juan de Fuca, because all the way down, it goes all the way down to way down. Actually, it's out that direction. So where the three plates meet, the Pacific, North American, and the Juan de Fuca plate. The Juan de Fuca is still subducting. It's subducting under the the North American plate, and the margins of the North American plate are way over there at the California Nevada border, and that's called the craton, right? That's the really old rock that was there from the beginning. That was attached to another great big, out in the Atlantic Ocean, a great big one continent. Anyways, I forget the name of that one, but if you've studied geology, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so when you look around here, especially here on this property, because we are on the southern tip of the Klamath Mountains, and the Klamath Mountains that go way on over there, and I'm pretty sure that it takes up Buckhorn up there, Bali, and that batholith there. That was at one time a huge volcano, and we were subjected to volcanoes all around here from where I'm standing right now. And here where we're at, we see a lot of epithermal deposits, and that's what we're seeing. And here on this property, we're finding deposits on the surface. So at one time, these mountains were a lot higher, and then Noah's flood came along and washed all the tops of them off. And you know, the more we study on this, and the more we find out about it, the Great Flood washed all the way across this continent. All of this right here, all of this, southern tip of the Klamath mountain range, which goes all the way up into Oregon, all the way up that direction, probably up to, gosh, it's huge. You know, it's a huge area. It's the Klamath Mountains. It actually has a clockwise rotation, right? Part of the North American plate. It has a clockwise rotation in the tectonic collisions and shifts and things like that. And so this whole mountain range was connected to the Sierra Nevada, which the Klamath Mountains at one time were part of, and we know that because of the rocks. Some of the rocks in the Klamath are younger rocks than those, but they are, chemically speaking, they're the same. And so down below Mount Lassen, which is part of the Cascade Range, and that's what you're seeing across over there, is the Cascade Range. These mountains and these volcanoes are all still active, and the reason that they are active is because the Juan de Fuca plate is still subducting. And in the biblical times, back when in Noah's flood, we know that they're the creationist scientists and geologists, all of them know that everything was happening at such a great speed. In other words, this subduction plate was subducting. We know that the Pacific plate, could have been the Juan de Fuca plate, went all the way down to Southern California, and which subducted and created all of those Sierra Nevadas. Now these volcanoes right here in the Cascades, we have Lassen, and then we have Mount Shasta further up north. That's all part of the tectonic arc, and it's an arc of volcanoes. You've heard of the Ring of Fire. It goes all the way around the Pacific Ocean. We're part of that arc, right? Because we are on the North American plate, and the Juan de Fuca is subducting under that. The reason that the Klamath Mountains are rotating clockwise is because there was a shift, right? Just below Lassen, it's not subducting anymore, it's spreading. Okay, so we're part of that spread, and up there northeastern on the other side of the Cascade Mountains there, we have a basin and range area over there. So this is moving out around this way, and it had moved up this way, and don't forget the Pacific plate is moving northwest, right? And so out in the ocean, we have some great faults where those two come together. And down in Mendocino, like I said, down there on the point of Mendocino Point down there, that's where the three plates come together. Anyways, so if you look at these mountains around here, and you see that one there, and there's some up there behind the dam on the other side of the dam that you look at, Those are all old volcanoes from when all of this catastrophic stuff was going on. These continents at that time of Noah were probably moving, and the scientists have got the proof that these continents were moving probably 5 miles per hour. And you figure out how far they're moving in a day, and no wonder we had a great flood. No wonder the waters of the deep spewed up, because of these continents are moving. It's opening great crevices and you know, deep crevices where that water rushed in and hit that hot magma, and it spewed out through the earth and caused it to rain 40 days and 40 nights. And it was the deluge, believe me. And everything was never the same after that. This stuff was moving at such a fast clip. You know, they measure time, evolution they measure that by how things are moving now. Well, everything has kind of stopped. And believe me, this can happen again. If it happened before, it will happen again. And so you can see that mountain right there. It's shaped like a peak. That's an old volcanic mountain. And it could be a vent, remember. We're out in the margins of these volcanoes. We Iron Mountain's up that way. It's full of minerals, and there's still a lot there, and there's still a lot more here too, right here. And so then we have that huge batholith up there, Bali Mountain, and that range, it goes all the way out that way. I'm not really sure where the margin are of the Klamath southern margins, but I do know that we are on the southeastern tip of the Klamaths. And so that's why you see this, if you go around this country, and that's why there's so many minerals around here. And when you look at these rocks are all fractured. They're not one solid piece. And I haven't identified them. But I do know that there's probably, the reason we see so much quartz here is because quartz really, I think it'll melt at 600 degrees or something like that. So it's a lot lower temperature in the epithermals. And here we have, right here, we have a little quartz stringer sticking up there. And we are going to investigate it because it's got some good color to it. You know, if you look at this, and then you look at these rocks right here. Now look at that rock. You know, it looks like it has vugs in it, very small vugs. It's not a porphyritic rock because the crystals are so small. So it probably cooled very quickly. And you'll see the color of this quartz like this right here. This one right here, that piece right there has got some purple in it, which could either be iron ore, hematite, manganese, and whichever it has, if it's got the purple in it, you could call it a bit of K-spar, which would give it that purple color, or red. Anyway, so we're going to investigate more, and I'm beginning to think that something really catastrophic happened here 8,000 years ago, and which formed those mountains over there, and then this little valley right here. You have this little valley right here, right? And what took place here to form this valley? You know, I think at one time, 10 years ago, well, probably 10 years ago, I'd been studying this, but you would think that it could be glaciers. Well, maybe way before the last ice age we had. But that would be when God was forming the earth. I do not believe there was glaciers down this far at the time of Noah's flood and when all that upheaval happened. And so it could be that this has collapsed. Maybe this was, maybe it's spreading. Because remember, this used to be way down on the other end of the Lassen Mountains down there. And it's moved up here because of plate tectonics. And it's interesting because we have a spreading over there that's spreading out this way. We have a Juan de Fuca plate that's subducting to the north, excuse me, to the east, and everything that's going on here, and that's why we have earthquakes. So, and there's a lot of mountains right around here locally that look a lot like little volcanoes. And if you check the USGS reports, you will find that they designate some of these mountains, right? And then over here at the Walker mine, and then the Reed mine, which I used to own, is over on the other side down towards the river. You find some very peculiar, a lot of minerals, a lot of shafts, a lot of adits, a lot of drifts, a lot of test pits. We have prospect pits here up in this draw. We have prospect pit on the other side in that draw. And so that's why I have built a crusher, and I built a impact mill. And look here. And but the material, the stuff that I'm finding, the red stuff that I'm finding is I do believe is decomposed hematite, or it could even just be iron ore. But since gold rides an iron horse, I have some of that stuff down there, some of the ore. I found some ore up in this that the old timers had removed and stacked. And so I'm in the process now of trying to find a way to process this ore that I have. The stuff that I found, that I dug up with my backhoe, is a deep red, almost like it's a manganese or hematite. And I think I finally settled in on it being a kind of a decomposed hematite or weathered, but we'll know more about it once I process it. So I'm going to run it through. I already ran it through my jaw crusher. I ran a sample through my impact mill, and now I just need to find a way to separate that very, very fine gold that is precipitated out into the hematite or iron type material. Anyways, we're gonna know, and we're gonna check it out. But I'm kind of settling on the gold cube with a 4-stack. I have been talking to the guys down there at the mining supply place over there by Jones Fort, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'm gonna go down there tomorrow and take a sample of that stuff with me and see if those guys down there can help me figure out how I can get that very, very fine gold out of that rock that I found, that ore. So we'll be working on that. I just turned off, I left the water on over there to fill that tank up, and we're going to dig down here. We got one gate valve here. I need to put another one, whether that gate's on that side or this side or that side, but I do need another isolation valve in here. Anyways, we'll figure that out. But there's my home down there. There's my upper garden. This stuff is just to keep my mind busy. I am a caregiver, and so I have to find something. So, keep me from going mad. Anyway, so, look at these cats are like dogs. Anyway, so, I guess that's it. And look who's coming. It's Maverick, way down there. Hey, Mav. Come on, Maverick. Come on. Come on. I'm surprised at you. I'm surprised you're not here already. All right. Well, you guys, thanks for watching. And remember, Godspeed.